Just west of the scenic Hudson River is Nyack, the site of Cablevision's Game of the Week. The host Indians and their visitors from Mamaroneck. The classrooms are open for business, and coaches and players alike are full of hope and optimism. High school football version 02 is teed up and raring to go. Hello everybody, I'm Bestorino along with Jim Cavallo on a very hot and humid day. It's 80 degrees as we start this early September kickoff. And Jim, one big concern from Mamaroneck as they come in here, they're starting a new program with their old coach who's back after 2 years, Harry Peterson. Harry's got to look across the line, and 242 pounds is the average on the line, the behemoth of Nyack. How do you ever get through that?
Yeah, the Tigers of Mamaroneck know they're up against it in this one, but you know what? It's opening day, so what? Camp is done. The hot August sun is over. It's September now. As the players came on the field earlier, they were yelling, "It's game time," and that's what it's all about. First game of the season. The slate is wiped clean. Two teams looking for their first victory of the season.
Well, we look at the playoffs last year and what these two teams did, and you start with Mamaroneck, and they didn't go too far, and they also.
Now, they came in as the number 8 seed, and they took on Greeley, and the Quakers had their sights set on the sectional final. And look at where the bracket went. It was Greeley on the top side, Nyack on the bottom side. They would meet in the sectional final. Greeley with a 1-point victory. The Quakers were section champs. And don't think the Nyack Juniors are not forgetting about that game as they take the field tonight.
Well, let's look at a little capsule of what these two teams did last season. First of all, Mamaroneck finishes at 3-5.
Yeah, Mamaroneck was a tough year around. They did go to the postseason. That's what they look for this year. As they talk about the year 2002, they're going to finish the year 2001. Mamaroneck, they said this is it. It's a new season here. Playoffs are bust. They come in with absolute talent. Look at the numbers, 3-5 last year. There's the loss to Greeley in the first round of the playoffs. But there's the key stat, the all-section QB. Yes, sir, Peter O'Byrne is outstanding. And there's the prime time running back, Maurice Murray. Hard nose. You cannot arm tackle Maurice Murray. This guy's a game breaker. If Maurice Murray gets into the ninth secondary tonight, just look out. Maurice Murray is what the Mamaroneck Tigers need in a big way tonight.
Look, Nyack, they've got their own barn burner there. This guy can really run. Nigel Morris, boy, he's a bolt of lightning, huh?
Yeah, when you talk about the Nyack Indians, first you go back to last year, 2001, their first loss of the year would come in that sectional final game. But the Indians, they turned the page and look towards this year. There's the 7-6 loss to Greeley, a missed extra point. But the key that under Coach Castellano, only one losing season in the last 15 years. It is an absolute mark of excellence. And you spoke about him just a minute ago, Nigel Morris, Mr. Everything for Nyack, the 3-year starter. This is a guy who scored 3 touchdowns in the sectional final. Sophomore, he'll play running back, quarterback. He's one of the top free safeties in all of New York State. 10 interceptions a year ago. The fans here in Nyack, they love Nigel Morris.
Well, the butterflies are fluttering in the stomachs of every player and coach right now, right here on the field. We're ready for kickoff, so don't go anywhere, folks. Cablevision High School Football Game of the Week is coming up.
Every pitch, every swing, every catch.
He's there.
The game lives on ESPN and ESPN2. Sunday Night Baseball, the Wednesday doubleheader. Coverage that's going deep all season from the people who do it best. Major League Baseball on ESPN and ESPN2.
Every pitch, every swing, every catch. Don't miss Major League Baseball on ESPN and ESPN2. Watch it on Cablevision.
Mac Calman Field, Nyack, Rockland County. Game 1 on our schedule. And the visiting Mamaroneck Tigers with a lot to prove this season, a brutal schedule, and a heck of an opener against the Nyack Indians. And you take a look at the coaches. Harry Peterson on the right, on the left there. Very good coach, both of them. Harry with a 50-50-1 record, and John Castellano, and they're friends to his left. Funny line, by the way, Jim. Before the game, we were all talking, including both of those coaches, and we asked for their starting lineups just to make sure there were no changes, and Harry Peterson was right there. And the big response from John Castellano to Harry Peterson was, "You think I should start Nigel Morris?"
No, you know he'll be out there. And what Nigel Morris is tonight, well, there's the Murray O'Byrne show. The keys for the Mamaroneck Tigers. Let the show be O'Byrne. Average 160 yards passing a game last season. They need him to be big in his senior season. And you know Murray, outstanding back. He can go for 200 in a heartbeat. Compete in the trenches. They cannot line up with the size that Nyack has up front. Just get in there and compete. Don't get blown off the ball. Don't let this annihilation at the line of scrimmage. And read and react. Nyack comes at you. Yeah, you think that it's going to be Nigel Morris getting the ball. All of a sudden, Samoilo, it's Pierre-Louis, it's Wilson, this sophomore. Just read and react. Don't over-pursue on Mr. Nigel Morris, because out of that wing T attack, they'll show you looks.
Nyack, the state champions just 2 seasons ago. Last year went 8-1. John Castellano has done a great job in his 15th season now, 108 wins, 25 losses, and a tie.
His license plate on his car says CAS 2000 NYS champions. You gotta love that. He's got an outstanding bunch. They returned 14 starters. And when you talk about Nyack's game tonight, how about their keys to victory for the Nyack Indians on this Thursday night at McCommon Field? Number 1, tame the two-headed dragon. You know those guys are going to be coming at you, the 1-2 punch. They may be the best running back combination in Westchester County. Nyack defensively has got to keep O'Byrne and Murray in check. Number 2, get off the ball. We spoke about this offensive line. When you have that kind of offensive line, you have to exploit it. You got to beat people up. You got to dominate the weaker teams. That could be one of the staples of their team. And turn the playmakers loose. So much speed, so much athleticism for Nyack. Go out there and make plays for the hometown faithful.
Nyack will receive. Mamaroneck and Sean McGee will do the kicking. He's a junior. Adam Goldberg is out with a pulled hip flexor, so they're going to suffer off the bat. And you can see the inexperience of McGee, and they get the first flag of the season out of bounds. So that's not what they wanted to do. If you're Mamaroneck come into this game, you cannot shorten the field for a team like Nyack, and they did already.
And they're going to give him good field position here. Nyack will take the penalty and let him walk it off. The ball be spotted at the 35-yard line.
Jim, you wonder one thing. If they absolutely just didn't want to kick it to Nigel Morris anyway and let him start at the 35 and not maybe at the 50.
Yeah, you just might be better off. An explosive player, Nigel Morris. You have to limit his touches.
So the Nyack Indians will touch the ball first on offense. The ball at the 35-yard line. They go from left to right in their maroon jerseys, black pants. And it's a powerful bunch, folks, on the line, behind the quarterback himself. A lot of offensive firepower. We'll see how much of that actually comes to fruition here on game number 1. So the first play from scrimmage, and it goes to the right side with a flag already, so 2 plays and 2 penalties. Again, neither team in sync. They haven't had much practice time, only 15 days, the shortest ever. And this one goes offsides against Mamaroneck.
Yeah, you talk about the Tigers and Mamaroneck, only 1 scrimmage. So really, this is only their second go-round at live head-to-head competition.
54,
the game situation
54.
with officials and a clock and all that kind of good stuff. Only 1 scrimmage, imagine that.
That's tough. And only 1 practice for both teams really had to be pulled indoors. We had some weather, as you know, in late August and early September, but they got through it. First play of the game goes to the left side, and Todd Wilson actually gets the call, and Wilson's up to the 43-yard line.
Well, they have high hopes for Todd Wilson, just a sophomore, but he'll be part of this offense from day 1, as you saw there.
Harry Peterson said before the game, that guy number 6 who just ran the ball, he worries me.
And he should too, an explosive youngster. As you see, the senior, Eric Clegg, this is his year now, senior season. Last year, a bit of a work in progress. He got better game in and game out. But this is it, the final go-round for Mr. Clegg.
They picked up 8 on first down, and this is the first try for Nigel Morris. He takes it to the 50-yard line. That's good for a first down. They'll move the sticks, and the Indians, after a couple plays, are at midfield.
This is the feature back out of the wing tee. Nigel Morris. He was featured in the Journal News' preseason pullout for high school football. Nigel Morris. He's the guy that people of Rockland County might just be talking about as one of the great backs here in this season of 2002.
We mentioned early in the pregame, 242 pounds. That's the average on the line for Nyack. That is scary. Look who gets it again. Second time for Wilson, left side, and he continues to pull up some big yards now on 2 carries. And he picks up another 8, so 16 yards and 2 carries for Wilson.
Strongly built at 180 pounds is Todd Wilson. You saw how he exploded through the hole off that left side. And that's going to be the MO for John Castellano. He's going to let his offensive line set the tone in ball games. They're not going to try and get too fancy. They're going to try and ram it right down your throat. John Castellano is going to make the defense stop him.
Clegg, little play action, wants to throw lefty, goes downfield, and it is caught. Look at that. Nigel Morris comes up with it. I thought it was batted down by some point by Galveo, but Morris comes in and pulls down a long touchdown, 42 yards.
Great attributes of receivers to make an adjustment on the ball. That's just what Nigel Morris did. The ball from the southpaw Clegg was a little underthrown, but Nigel Morris, man, this guy's an athlete from the word go. He put the brakes on, ducked under the defender, and pulls it in. Catching touchdown passes is nothing new to Nigel Morris. In the 2012-0 season in the state final, he caught 3 touchdown passes.
Guess who's on the field to do the PAT? That's Nigel Morris. Holding it is Clegg, the quarterback. The snap is a bad one. Clegg now will have to run and go for 2. The lefty throws it incomplete for Wilson, so they'll get 6. Actually, it went to Dela Cruz. So with 10:09 to go in the opening quarter, a nice, impressive drive by Nyack, 6-0 lead.
Oh, the extra point, the only thing that went wrong for Nyack in the first 1 minute and 48 seconds of this game. So right now, Mamaroneck quickly, with their backs against the wall, they trail 6-0. Plenty of time left to go. Just got to tip your cap to Nigel Morris, makes an outstanding play.
Well, just the start Harry Peterson did not want to see. Nyack basically off the penalty from the 35 straight down the field on a few plays and put it in. And all of a sudden they're down 6-0 and their offense will get a chance, though. They've got a lot of work to do. Now we get to see their star play. We'll see what Maurice Murray can do.
Yeah, O'Byrne and Murray. And the Mamaroneck faithful pin their hopes on those 2 guys this year. They're both seniors. They've both been through the wars. And they'll have to really have a superior effort tonight here at Nyack High School. Playing on the road is never easy in high school football, but playing at Nyack High School in the last 15 years or so, always a tough place to come in.
Sean McGee, number 1 deep, as well as John Campanelli, number 7. And they stand at their own 5-yard line waiting for the kickoff, so it's 6-0. Nyack gets to kick it off. Nigel Morris does that. Puts it down the middle of the field. And here comes McGee, looking for a hole, and McGee is not going to find it. He'll be down at around the 30-yard line, and that's where the Tigers will start their first offensive series of the season. They got the Bengals uniform look. And hopefully for Coach Peterson, they won't have the Bengals record.
And Tigers. And there he is, Peter O'Byrne, the senior. 1,300 yards through the air last year. And you talk about 1,300 yards passing in a high school football season, that's getting it done, 1,277 to be exact. But only 8 games last year. That average is about 160 yards passing a game. So this guy's got some firepower in his arsenal.
And they'll go up the middle with Murray, and he'll gain a few. The nice thing about O'Byrne, 6'1", 175. He has a strong arm so they can throw the ball. He's very intelligent. They'll go with the audibles if they see it, and a lot of play action, and that could tend to disrupt some defenses. We'll see.
That's the puncher's chance they have.
I mentioned before how big and powerful that Nyack defensive front line is. We'll see what a difference that gets to be as this game goes on, especially if they wear down the smaller Tigers. Little play action, actually. They keep it on the ground and nowhere to go. Maurice Murray trying to find something. So this will set up third down and pretty long, about 5 or 6.
Yeah, he found something, all right, Rob. He found 6'3", 235-pound William Leone, defensive end for Nyack.
And he's small. Wait till he runs into Ted Rene, who's 285, or Jamar Watley, who's 290. You know, we were joking about the 242-pound average, and that's only an average because of the 180 pounds of Bradley Gallen. Otherwise, that'd be way up there.
Yeah, they got to get Brad in the cafeteria a little more so they can put up more of a gaudy stat there.
O'Byrne under pressure, and he's going to have to eat it. O'Byrne goes down, nothing open. He does the smart thing, and he'll hit the ground at around the 21-yard line. So the Tigers 3 and out, and they'll have.
It was LaPointe coming in on the sack, and that's what John Castellano said they were going to try and do to this outstanding quarterback, O'Byrne. They want to put pressure on him, take a quarterback out of his comfort zone, and he's not the same quarterback, and that's the agenda for the Nyack defense tonight.
Michael Rivers, high punt, short punt though. Takes a Tiger bounce, and Samoilo will watch it. Good roll on this. A flag though back at the line of scrimmage. This will actually go down to the 38. We'll see what the call is, and it's going to be against Mamaroneck, which is unfortunate for them because they actually got it pretty far out of their own area.
Yeah, quickly, Coach Cass says, make them punt it over. And after a good punt, they'll march him 5 yards back and do it all over again.
The officials for today already busy with 3 penalties. They're all from Rockland County. The referee is Marty Landon. His brother is also Arnold, the line judge. The umpire, Fred Goncher. Craig East is the head linesman. John Supak is the back judge, and our timer is Bill Sandra. Not many rules changes here in New York State. Just some small ones. One, though, is a sort of a modified clipping penalty. If you use your hands and push someone from behind, that'll go for 10, as opposed to actually tackling them or hitting them underneath the waist. That's the 15. On the field with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter, 6-0 in favor of Nyack.
It's never the yardage on those clip penalties, Rob. It always seems like a clip calls back a big play.
Yeah.
And the clip is always the one call when a guy breaks a big one as he's kind of celebrating the end zone. Everybody points back to a flag. Here comes that referee with a clip. So now the clip has expanded now. So you'll see more clips and you'll see more big plays being called back, because that kind of engagement, 2 hands in a guy's back, is kind of an open field situation, full speed situation. That's the kind of play you'll see when a guy breaks one wide open.
It's kind of like running into the kicker and roughing the kicker. You know, you got 2 versions there. Both are bad, but one's not as bad. So now they'll be deep in their own territory, almost on the goal line. Bad snap, but they'll be able to get it off. Shanked it, though. Rivers puts it around the 45-yard line, and it's touched there by Manzi Pierre. So they're going to lose about 2 yards on that penalty.
Yeah, even though he got a fortuitous bounce, did the punter Comblow. But as you said, Nyack picks up 20 yards of real estate on the re-kick. Actually, it was Rivers, the punter. So Nyack, you spoke about working with a short field. 45 yards from Pedro for the Indians now.
So the Indians come back. We'll see them for the second time today on offense. Good crowd on hand for this Thursday afternoon game, early evening. Game time temperature about 80 degrees, and you can see on the field, and now another timeout called, this time by Nyack. The shadows abound as it starts to go towards the outside. The lights just were put on. It is a warning. Both teams have to stay hydrated, because especially with players playing both sides of the ball, it's very easy to cramp up.
Yeah, they were happy to see that sun go down. And this is something you always see in 1 and 2. Still summertime here, early September. You know, school has opened up. Tough week in general for the kids, Rob. Always when the school year opens up, got to start waking up early, hitting the books again. But you see Coach Cass calling an early timeout. He demands excellence. This is a guy who's put up outstanding season after season. What a find for Nyack High School to get John Castellano over 15 years ago. He's done nothing but propel the Indians down championship lane. Look at the record, 108-25-1. 3-time section champions. 2000, they ran the whole table in New York State, perfect 12-0. And look at that, Rob, since 1994.
Unbelievable, huh? 71-7, only one losing season since 92. Guy's got a great program.
He laughs about that 92 season. He says, yo, we started out 3-0. We lost 5 straight. Are you kidding me?
1st and 10 from the 45. They'll keep it. And you'll see this throughout the game. They'll use different quarterbacks, and that would be Clegg and then number 5, Nigel Morris. He'll do that often. And keep the ball, and really, you got to guess when you're what he's going to do.
That was a great job by the Mamaroneck defense right there, swarming to the ball, and that's what you got to do. You know, when Nigel Morris has got the ball, it's going to be a pass option. But watch the top of your screen, the defense of Mamaroneck. Watch them all swarm to the ball. And got a gang tackle, 65-30. Watch 2 come in. Murray right at the end, finish them off. They can pay. You got to put a lot of helmets on Nigel Morris and let him feel it a little bit.
Game of 1, 2nd and 9. They'll go off right side and plow forward inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down. Mamaroneck will really put 8, 9, sometimes 10 in the box and really do everything they possibly can to not only negate that size, but just to stop the run and force Nyack to throw.
Yeah, Peterson, the head coach, said we're going to be a 4-3 defense in the year 2002, but not on opening night. When we go to Nyack, we're going to go with a 46, and as you said, we're going to stack them up in the box and really try and show them. So we can't just line up in a 4-3 and expect to play Nyack straight up.
Eric Clegg back in a quarterback. They'll go right side, and Nigel Morris finds a seam and goes down the sideline, cuts back and out inside the 10-yard line. You saw the move of Nigel Morris.
That's what the fitting for. And Coach Peterson knows we're trying to defend the wing T. It's a multiple look offense. An offensive misdirection. And with Clegg back at QB, they swing Nigel Morris wide. And once he finds the seam and turns the corner, it's going to be yards ahead. Check it out again. Look at Morris on the right side. Look at the head straight up. Visionary runner. Once he turns and burns around the corner, puts the juke on, picks up another 10 yards on the play. But the Indians are knocking at the door inside the 10.
Clock running just under 6 minutes to go, open quarter. And they will go left side this time to Juden Pierre-Louis. He's gang tackled after a short gain. If you're Mamaroneck, this is probably your worst nightmare right now because 2 possessions from Nyack. First one they score, second one they're knocking on the door already.
And Pierre-Louis says, come on, coach, 800 yards I ran up a year ago. And that's my first touch. We talk about all kinds of firepower. Nigel Morris, we talk about the sophomore coming in there. But now Pierre-Louis, the big fella, grinding it out, pushing the pile straight ahead. Physical, short yardage back. This is his territory.
Now they'll go back to Morris. Morris keeps churning, and gets close to it and in. The tackle a little too late that time by Lanza, so Nigel Morris scores the 2nd touchdown of this season for Nyack, and they're up 12-0.
Well, when you're the feature back, you're going to be featured. And Nigel Morris getting a lot of touches. And what's happening is Nigel Morris is getting a lot of room off the point of attack. Of course, we spoke about the Nyack offensive line. They're an outstanding bunch. And Morris able to break the point of attack, and from there, he's so dangerous. He found a way to find the end zone.
Well, they'll go for 2 to make up for the blotch last time. And this will be a keeper. Let's see if he sneaks in, and he does. Clegg, left side. They get the 2 back, so it's 14-0, 5:11 to play in quarter number 1.
Yeah, the growth of Eric Clegg. What a big fake he put in the gut of Pierre-Louis. Pierre-Louis drew the defense. And Clegg has some daylight, dives into the end zone. And quickly, Nyack up 14-0. Check it out again. Watch Clegg. Watch the fake here. Oh, this is the touchdown on the right side. Nigel Morris breaks 1 tackle and rides the big defender into the end zone. Nigel Morris.
Well, Harry Peterson, a rough start. He took a little break for 2 years. He went up to Somers to help out Matteo, and he watched his son play there for a couple of years. His son went to East Stroudsburg. And now he's back here with the opportunity to coach again, taking over for Michael Harkins. And this is not the start he wanted. If he was going to be real honest and say it, it's probably the start he expected.
Yeah, you got to play them all. He's got a tough schedule for Harry Peterson, the Harrison graduate. Of course, at Harrison, he played for Art Troilo Sr., who's the head coach of Harrison now, but Art Troilo Jr., Harry Peterson, a good
Defensive
back,
fullback in the
day, but an
outstanding lacrosse player
in his time.
Peterson's been coaching 27 years, between head coaching and assistant coaches. That's more than the age of his assistant coach. Greg Butler's 26, and everyone underneath him, Plato, Ponticello, and Smith, they're all ex-players and younger than 26. So it's a very inexperienced and young staff, so they'll grow with Harry Peterson in this program.
A whole new staff.
Morris puts it right down the middle. It's taken by McGee. And another flag comes into play. McGee, a return to about the 27-yard line. A lot of penalties so far. Again, part of that could be the lack of a division schedule. Only one. Not a lot of game situations.
We had a block below the waist on
This is gonna
13.
be against Mamaroneck.
Going to go back half the distance.
So the penalty goes against Mamaroneck. They'll walk it off, and the Tigers will start back at their own 19-yard line.
So not only do they make it shorter on defense for special teams for Nyack, but their own special teams makes it longer for their offense, and that's not good.
Yeah, the issue at hand here for Mamaroneck, get a couple first downs, start feeling good about yourselves. It's early, first quarter time, first game of the year.
Pineros goes in motion, and the call goes to the right side. Short gain, bring up second down and about 7.
That's Maurice Murray. Maurice Murray now standing back. He can run through tackles. You see, solidly built senior, 5'11", 210 pounds.
This is a guy who plans on playing football
At the next level. And if he can find some daylight tonight, you will see the talent of Maurice Murray.
Arguably, we're seeing the two best running backs in Section 1. I mean, you can certainly make a case with Morris and Murray that they're up there within the top 5, if not the best. I know their coaches will make that argument. In motion again goes Galveo. And they want to throw. Let's see what they do. Actually, he's going to keep it now. And O'Byrne will run up to about the 25-yard line. It's going to be short. It'll set up third down and about 4, maybe 5.
Well, it wasn't a sack, but it was a coverage play right there for Nyack. Credit to Nyack secondary. They had all the receivers of Mamaroneck covered because O'Byrne had some time here. Look, he's able to set up in the pocket, take a look downfield, but you see him clutch and pump. That's because his first and second options were all covered by the Nyack secondary, so good job by Nyack on defense. Now, third down, about 5.
Bradley Gallen, the middle linebacker, made the stop. Galveo in motion. And they'll run it to the right side, and they got the room and they got the first down. So a good play there. Mark Pineros makes the play. So the Tigers move the sticks for the first time this season. 3:25 to go, opening quarter. They're down 14 points.
Yeah, Mamaroneck runs a variation of the wing. And watch the play here. A couple fakes inside. And the third back through is Pineros right there. Good shoot right there. That set everything up. And Pineros and the Mamaroneck Tigers will move the chains for the first time in 2002. First down from Mamaroneck.
So they'll put it at the 32. O'Byrne looking to throw, and it's intercepted, picked off. It goes to Evans, and he'll be knocked down after a short return, but the Indians capitalize on defense, and they're in striking distance again.
I don't think O'Byrne saw Ricky Evans put Slick Rick, the senior. He jumped right into the passing lane, and that ball had some mustard on it. Excellent hands by Evans to pull that one in. And just what Mamaroneck did not need. Watch this, O'Byrne locked in on the receiver, fires this ball. Look at Evans right there. All hands on that one. As O'Byrne was looking for Campanelli, Johnny Campanelli. But Evans with the first pick for the Nyack defense, the first of many for the secondary. And Nyack takes over.
Clay back at quarterback. He's looking to throw. The lefty throws it to the end zone and almost picked off and almost caught. It actually is caught. What a reception, I believe. And they do it to him.
Boy, Todd Wilson just made the play of a lifetime. Remember last year on Monday night, Antonio Freeman for the Green Bay Packers? Shades of that right now. This play was covered outstandingly by the defender, Gary Galvao Jr. Galvao had it in his sights all the way, bounced off his hands and his back. Wilson able to bring it in. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the ball's bouncing in Nyack's way, that's for sure, so far in this first quarter. They are ready to go in for the third time today. Let's see if they can do it. And they do. Touchdown. They're spreading the wealth. Juden Pierre-Louis on TD. It is now 20-0 Nyack.
Yeah, first goal inside. Coach Ass. He's going to his big dog, Pierre-Louis. And Nyack making it look easy right now. 2 plays after the turnover. The big ball as Nyack grabs the opportunity. Great play by Wilson, and Pierre-Louis just plunges in. And just
like that.
2:27 to go in the first quarter. Nyack is up by 3 touchdowns.
Nigel Morris, Clegg with the hold. Up and in. 21-zip. 2 minutes, 27 seconds to go. Opening quarter. 3 touchdowns for Nyack, no points for Mamaroneck. And that's where we stand late in this first quarter. I'm sure if you're looking around the Mamaroneck sideline there, you're looking at a lot of dejected faces already. They got to be saying, you know, we didn't even finish the first quarter. Coach, what do we do?
Yeah, well, he knows this coach has been around long enough to know, Harry Peterson, that 1 quarter does not make a season. And even though it's 21-0, he'll tell his troops, let's go, we're going from here. He's an upbeat guy, personable guy. He's happy to be back at the helm with the Tigers. And he knew he was coming in for a dogfight. It was trial by fire from Mamaroneck starting out their season on the road.
This will be taken by Campanelli. Campanelli looking for something, and he sees a lot of maroon. So he'll go down at around the 25-yard line. That's where the Tigers will start again. Again, trailing by 3 touchdowns. Rob Astorino, Jim Cavallo. Cablevision's high school football game of the week. This week from Nyack, Indians, and Tigers from Mamaroneck. And next week it'll be Yorktown and Fox Lane. Same time, same channel, but we will not be Batman and Robin, I guarantee you that.
If you're Mamaroneck right now, somebody's got to make a play, whether it's a big block, whether it's a big run, just something on the positive end to bring some excitement into this sideline.
Murray spins for a few. Not much, but positive yard.
Of tackle Greg Dubison, the senior for Nyack. He's had a hand in a bunch of tackles so far, and he is containing his area right now on the inside, giving no room to Murray.
They'll go back to Murray, left side, and Murray will get very close to the mark. He's up at around the 40-yard line. That could be enough depending on where they spot it. Looks like it's going to be just short. This is about 3rd down, about 1.
Finally a little daylight for Murray right there. Maurice hops his way through the lane and brings up a 3rd down and short yardage situation. Check it out again. They went right side to no avail. This time they go left side. Good blocking up front by the Tigers.
O'Byrne will give it off to Murray. He gets the 1st down and he pushes ahead for 7-8 yards, and they'll move the sticks. Ball at the 47-yard line. So Mamaroneck gets a 1st down. Some positive news for them.
Yeah, Murray was taking no chances. He ran over his own guard. Captain John Lanza, number 65, who was doing a good job with some blocking, but Murray so quick. Watch it once again. Look at lands in the middle of your screen. Boom, he knocks over his own guy. Says, I'm sorry, Johnny. I got to get to the flag right here and move the chain, son.
That they did. Paneros in motion. They'll go to the left side, Galveo, and he'll pick up about 5. So the running game doing its thing in the last few plays here for the Tigers.
Well, Harry Peterson was talking about Todd Wilson, the sophomore for Nyack, as the running back. Todd Wilson on defense coming up a good textbook tackle right there to hold him to 5 yards. But Mamaroneck doing a good job here now. They got it rolling in the right direction now, picking up 5 on first down, 2nd down and 5. Good offensive production right now on this drive from Mamaroneck.
O'Byrne has basically stayed away from the pass. Once he ate it and was sacked. Second time he had it picked off. And a whistle.
This is going to be a 1 step forward, 2 steps back situation if it goes against Mamaroneck. Just when you put yourself in second short.
They actually didn't get the play off, so they catch a break there. End of the first quarter. It's 21-0 Nyack. Mamaroneck on it.
The dish was on the back part of the roof.
Every time the wind blew, the picture went out. The branches blew right into the signal. We called the dish guy and told us that we needed some trees and branches pruned back, and it was going to cost us $400. We started pruning tree branches.
You have to cut down a tree to watch TV.
There it is, my tree of shame. And to make a long story short, it still doesn't work. I called up and I got my cable. I'm done with the dish.
Shouldn't you have one half?
Skin cancer is the most common of all cancers.
Can I get in the pool?
Sure.
Just one blistering sunburn before age 18 increases cancer chances. To protect yourself from sun exposure, cover up or use sunscreen. Raise awareness, a sun safety program from the Weather Channel.
Protect yourself from sun exposure with Raise Awareness, a sun safety program from the Weather Channel. Watch the Weather Channel on Cablevision.
He killed my father. He killed my brother and both my sisters. Pancreatic cancer killed them all. We don't know how or why they got it, but we knew it, and it was already too late. There still isn't any way to detect it early or to treat it effectively. But we do know the cure. Research. Just look how far we've come with other diseases.
Maurice Murray on the start of the second. Runs left side, picks up short yardage to bring up 3rd down and about 5. Pastorino, Jim Cavallo, and the entire crew of Cablevision Sports here in Rockland County. The team in white, Mamaroneck, they trail by 21 points to the team in maroon, the home team, Nyack.
You'd expect O'Byrne to be thrown here. If they didn't pick up anything on 2nd and 5, it's still a 5-yard situation now, 3rd down.
Campanelli split right in motion goes Paneros rather. O'Byrne wants to throw, trying to set up a screen to Murray, and that ain't going anywhere. And Ted Renee, all 285 pounds of him, saw to that.
Teddy Renee stayed home. You know those defensive linemen, Rob, they'll say, I seen it coming all the way, that middle screen. I knew the middle screen was coming. But a great job by Teddy Renee. Watch number 2. Left side of your screen, fakes the handoff, makes like he's going out, now takes a little middle screen pass, and Teddy Renee, hello, sir. Nyack doing a good job defending that all around.
You think they isolated on him, huh? Here's the kick, not a good one, shanked out of bounds by Rivers. So they won't get many yards there, and Nyack will again get the ball in very good field position as we start this second quarter.
Yeah, Rivers was rushed. So it caused him to punt that before he wanted, had to quicken up his steps. And the ball goes out of bounds. So Nyack takes over at the 33-yard line. Just underway in the second quarter. Indians have a 3-touchdown lead.
Well, folks, you can catch Sports Scene Tuesday through Thursday at 8 o'clock for an in-depth look at Section 1 sports. Jimmy C., the guy to my left, he's your man for nonstop sports action only on Cablevision local programming TV that's close to home. First down, Nigel Morris finds a hole. He's got one guy to beat. Morris continues to go back in a flag. Morris keeps going, and this is going to go for a touchdown if it holds up, and I'm sure it will.
It's going to come back on a penalty by Rafael De La Cruz. It just might be that clip you were talking about, the change in the rules. Let's see it here.
Yep.
Run back. It'll be a 15-yard penalty from the spot.
All right, they'll mark it off from the spot. So the ball come back to about the 45-yard line, but this is some of the sheer talent. You see it in Nigel Morris. Explodes through the hole on the right side. Then look with a big cutback. So you think number 13, the defender's got him here. Watch the other cutback. Here's the penalty right there. Whack, right up top. De La Cruz with a two-hander. There's that new clipping penalty they're talking about, but Nigel Morris still finishes the run off. All for naught as it comes back. Still a good play for Nyack offense as they're into Mamaroneck territory.
So a good call by the officials, a bad call by me. And the Nyack Indians do have it at the 48-yard line. Look at the block.
Watch De La Cruz here. And let's face it, Noah Jacobs, number 13 from Mamaroneck, had no chance to take down Nigel Morris. But De La Cruz doing a good job just trying to block downfield, but the defender turned on him.
Here's Samoilo, Peter Samoilo. Positive yardage, gain of about 6 as he takes it to the 41.
Such a tough play there for De La Cruz because De La Cruz is running straight ahead. Jacobs, the defender, as Nigel Morris makes the cut, he puts on the brakes and turns his back to the play. So De La Cruz's momentum is coming straight forward, puts his hands on him, the defender falls down, and it's called the clip. Really tough one to blame on the young man here.
Handoff up the middle. Pierre-Louis will get it over the marker, I believe. He had to get to the 32.5, and he does. Gets to about the 31 is where they'll spot it, so that is a first down. And unlike the NFL, obviously, where a clipping would be marked
Big sophomore campaign for Juden, over 800 yards. It's not easy to get 800 yards in the Nyack system because they spread it around. They share the wealth. It's running back by committee. So that's quite a testament to the production of Juden Pierre-Louis.
De La Cruz split left. Clegg wants to throw it wide open and dropped, unfortunately, is William Leone's pass, or attempted catch, rather. He had it. And that might have been a case where he was too open. The ball a little underthrown down below, but still a catchable pass.
There's a penalty on the play. Watch it again. Clegg is going to lay this one out a little behind his receiver.
And
roughing the passer.
Yep. So that puts it at the 15-yard line. And the Tigers, you don't know how much they can actually give up before they are going to be so deep in a deficit they're not going to be able to climb out of it. And they're getting to that point now, dangerously close at least. Clegg will keep it on the ground, hand it off. And Morris, I believe, is it Morris or is it Wilson? Looks like number 6, so that'd be Wilson.
Nice play by the senior defensive tackle, John Lanza. Lanza, the big fella, busting out off the right side to grab the shirt And Corral, Wilson, check it out again. Watch the super sophomore Todd Wilson, second back through, picks up the block. But watch Lanza chasing him down, just grabs onto some nylon. And that's enough because the pursuit will catch up. Nice play by the senior John Lanza.
Now that bunch has to come up now, Tigers defense. Second down and just about 10. 2 in the back.
Play all the way, but Lanza breaks through on the right side. Good pressure from both sides. You see number 30 there in your screen, also coming up with some good pressure.
That's always the case of, Coach, you sure there's no uniform changes, no number changes? No, everything's set. And then there's no 30 anywhere to be found.
We'll have to check with that at halftime, but
apologize to the parents of Mr. and Mrs. 30.
Maybe
so
that's his name.
3rd and long. Little play action, actually a toss back and no good, and that's going to hit the ground. And Lanza there again on the option to put the Indians way back. So actually, this is the best defensive stand so far.
Front, then the secondary. You know when it's 4th and a bundle, they got to go deep downfield. So Mamaroneck covers the deep routes beautifully. So Clegg is forced to throw under the coverage, even though it's incomplete. Even if Leone hauls it in, it would have been well short first down.
Tigers would love to score some points.
And it seems like they're pretty much locked into the ball game now. They're going to need to stick some points up on the board. 5:20 to go till the half.
Leo in motion, and this one's going to go absolutely nowhere. What a great play to get in the backfield by Muller LaPointe, and he puts number 42, Mark Paneros, right in the turf.
Muller, 5'8", just a senior. He breaks through the line of scrimmage and just wrecks this play. This play had opportunity written all over it, but Muller comes through and just goes shut down city. Look at him. Breaks through the line of scrimmage, grabs the ball carrier, spins him down to the turf. A huge loss right there. 3rd and long. Nice job by Muller.
Yes, it was. 3rd and 11. Single setback is Murray. He'll take the ball, and Murray with a little stutter step powers his way to the 39. That's going to be short by about 3. So the Tigers will most likely punt the ball away with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. And this punting unit comes on the field.
Only the caliber of running back like Maurice Murray on 3rd and 11 can you go with a delayed draw. And he nearly got it. Came up, like you said, about 3 yards shy. That's what that kind of back can do for you.
Nigel Morris stands at his 35 for this punt. And that one is very, very short. It's only going to yield about 10 yards, and a late flag comes into play across the field. Let's see what this call is going to be. Good hang time. That's the positive there. But the negative is a net of 10.
Attaboy, Rob. I appreciate that by you, man. This is high school football. You
Right.
pull out, draw it on some of the positives right there. As you see, coach talking to his punter.
Dead ball foul. So you just, it's a dead ball
Marty
foul.
Lane is
We know
the
that.
official. We'll see what the ref comes up with here. Giving Nyack some options.
77 hit the guy when the ball was out of bounds and he was out of the play.
Hitting someone out of the play as the explanation goes from Marty Landon to Harry Peterson.
That's a tough call right there because it was a legal hit. It just took place when the guy was out of bounds and out of the play. You know, you always ask your big dogs in there, hold your blocks, play until the whistle, play until the whistle, play until the whistle. That's what the kid will say. Hey, I was playing until the whistle. And Sean Martinson gets whistled for the foul. Left side of your screen, you see.
Too, so let's see.
I mean, that's crazy if that's a penalty right there. I'm sorry. I mean, that's over officious at its best right there if you're going to throw a flag on a guy for that.
Well, two Tigers jumped. Let's see if they were induced. Here's the call from Landon.
We have a dead ball foul. We have encroachment on the defense.
Well, they were not. What happened was William Leone, the tight end, jumped up to go in motion, and that might have drawn them off sides.
Sort of flag flying here.
It's like a dryer. See the towels all over the place. 1st and 5 now. There's play. He goes in motion. They don't bite this time. Sets up on the other side. Clegg takes his time, gives it off to Morris, and Nigel Morris will pick up the first down, stays inbounds, and he is to the 25-yard line.
Rob, P.J. Homesey from Mamaroneck just missed getting Nigel Morris in the backfield. And when you got a guy like Nigel Morris that just misses will kill you. Watch 54, top of your screen. He's going to shoot through and just go over the back. Right there of Morris, just miss him. That just miss cost them about 12 yards as you see Nigel just turn and burn around the right side.
.351 to go. Let's see if this is the official 4-minute warning or if there's...
No, there's marching it back on another call. It's a holding call now. So this game has become a litany of penalties. And John Castellano knows it's week 1. You'll see it from time to time, but he'll hope to clean it up. Still first down for Nyack.
It's also week 1 for the officials. It's also week 1 for the band and cheerleaders, so everyone has to get in their own groove. First down and about 7, maybe 6. Let's see what Clegg and the offense opt to do here. They'll keep it on the ground, and why not? They've had success with that. They'll go off the left side, and Pierre-Louis picks up some more yards. He'll bring about 2nd down and about 3.
Picks up a couple, but it was number 2 there, left side of your screen, Maurice Murray. Murray was blocked down to the ground, but still managed to get a piece of Pierre-Louis to slow him down and knock him down.
Under 3 minutes to go in the first half, 21-0 in favor of Nyack, and they've been knocking on the door again. Leone shifts again to the right side. Receiver on each side. This time in motion goes Wilson. Clegg will eat it, and he is buried by Maurice Murray again in on the defense.
Looked like an option coming to the left side. Play took a little too long to develop. That enabled Murray to break through. It also looked like Clegg might have lost his footing. Had a lot of rain this week here in Rockland County, as we have around the tri-state area. Field's a little soft. Looked like Clegg just lost his footing for a second. Nevertheless, it'll be a 3rd down and a long 3 for the Indians.
We were noticing before this game, down on the field, how brown this field is. It's really in good condition, And you can see drainage-wise, this should be a pretty good field if there is a heavy rain. 3rd down and about 4. Keeps it on the ground to Morris, right side. 1st down and more. Morris breaks a tackle, cuts back with ease, and touchdown Nyack. 29 yards on that carry. 27-0.
Well, Nyack likes to play their home games under the bright lights here of McColeman Field. And it is the Nigel Morris show on most nights, as it will be. Nigel, he almost makes it unfair once he gets into the secondary. So important for the Nyack boys up front to open some avenues for Nigel, because he will simply do the rest.
He'll stay on to kick it for the extra point. Gets enough height on that, and it's 28-0 Indians. 1:51 to go in the opening half. And to be honest, folks, this is what a lot of people expected.
Watch it once again, right side. Hamilton, Durandee, Teddy Rene, William Leone. Everybody out there blocking, and then just pure talent. Keeps the legs going, the head is straight up, cuts it to the outside. Only one man to beat. That's where the super juke comes in. Sheds right through the tackle into the house. Nigel Morris with yet another touchdown for Nyack, and they're up by a clean 28.
Well, meet the leaders, folks, and I'm not talking about Nigel Morris. Join Steve Wendell on Meet the Leaders each week as he interviews the leaders from your community about the things that matter most. Weekdays at 7 o'clock, weekends at 6, only on Cablevision, local programming, TV that's close to home. $1:51 to go in this very long first half for Mamaroneck. They're down 28 points. And they've got one more shot, presumably, in this first half to put something on the board and at least have a little smile as you go into the locker room.
As you're saying, Rob, from Mamaroneck right now, just have some positive to draw on. They have some time, they have some talent. Maybe this game is reaching the point where it's out of their reach. So right now, they're trying to use this as a work in progress, as a game to work on their offense, just trying to execute. They're going to be right back on the field next week. Doesn't get any easier.
A familiar scene, a kickoff. This time taken by Nutback. And on the return, it's Noah Jacobs. And Jacobs doesn't go far to the 30-yard line. So 1 minute, 44 seconds to go, second quarter. Peter O'Byrne ready to come back in with marching orders from Harry Peterson. We'll see if they start airing it out here.
Good job by Noah Jacobs. Come up and field the ball. Don't let it bounce around. So decent field position now over the 30-yard line, about the 31. And you'd have to expect O'Byrne, a senior, guy with a lot of confidence in his right arm. They will not be afraid to throw the football with Peter O'Byrne, another one of the many outstanding quarterbacks Mamaroneck has had over the years. They like to throw the football in Tiger Country.
They'll keep it on the ground, and Murray gets about 5. Clock running. Tigers quick to the huddle. You a little surprised they didn't go no huddle here? They got a lot to make up.
No huddle might be a little too much to ask of them right now. They're just trying to get in sync.
O'Byrne flips it downfield, an errant throw, and Morris picks it off. Nigel Morris from around midfield. And Morris taken down at around the 15-yard line. So things go from bad to worse for the Tigers on a play that really shouldn't have happened. He should not have thrown that ball.
There's a few secondaries in the county you don't want to throw it up for grabs. This is one of them. The Nyack Indians, they have a lot of outstanding talent in that secondary, and O'Byrne felt the pressure. Nobody has to tell Peter O'Byrne he shouldn't have thrown that football. He absolutely knows it. And somebody is down for the Nyack Indians. But O'Byrne drops back And Nyack really comes for him. This is what they wanted to do. They didn't want to let him get comfortable back there. You see shaking off the right side, William Leone, and O'Byrne throws it up. And Nigel Morris, first interception of the year. He had 10 a year ago. When Nigel Morris intercepts a ball, well, the fun has just begun. Check out Morris navigating his way down the field. He's out of that Deion Sanders school. When he intercepts a ball, he doesn't just want the interception to go in the book. He's looking to put 6 points up on the board, too.
I wonder if he dresses in those bright orange and green suits like Deion does.
I didn't go that far.
So they get the ball at the 14-yard line. 1 minute and 1 second to go in quarter number 2. It's been all Nyack so far. Pierre-Louis breaks a tackle and scores. Now it gets to a point where Mamaroneck just puts their head down and says, what can we do?
So many weapons coming out of the backfield. We spoke about reading and reacting. And just when you start looking at Nigel Morris in the backfield or Todd Wilson, here comes Juden Pierre-Louis busting through the right side into the end zone, yet another touchdown. And Nyack is putting this one away in the first half.
Morris, good on the PAT, 35-0 with 55 seconds to go. I don't know, what are you going to talk about on the big show on Sports Scene?
Sports Scene debuts this Tuesday. Gotta love it. We'll have a lot of highlights of this game, highlights of Clarkstown North and South. Should be outstanding.
Well, I tell you, it is Sports Scene Tuesday through Thursday, 8 o'clock for an in-depth look at Section 1 sports. This guy right here, Jimmy C, is your man for nonstop sports action, folks. Only on Cablevision local programming TV that's close to home. Next game will be at Fox Lane, Yorktown and the Foxes. It should be a good one. We'll see.
Huskers and the Foxes. And I can't believe I've been replaced by Joe Morris. Because I don't have Super Bowl rings? Because I wasn't number 20 taking it into the end zone for the Big Blue in '86? All right, I guess you got a point.
And you are wearing a blue shirt. I did notice that. Well, Joe Morris will join us starting next week. He's actually down at Giant Stadium today. The NFL kicks off as well with the Giants-49ers game. Joe's got some official duties as an ex-player.
I tell you, nobody in Nyack really cared about that. They got a great crowd here tonight, as always. Night football here. They'll still have time to go home and watch the game. What a tradition. The night games have been a staple of the Nyack high school football community. And they really show up to support their Indians. And it's been a lot of fun lately. Not too many losses.
Campanelli on the return bumps into his own guy, McGee. And he keeps going forward, and they push it over the 40-yard line to the 43. Excellent return that time. 46 seconds to go in this first half, a 35-point spread.
And that's what I was talking about right there, Rob. You see John Campanelli right there, number 7. He's a senior. He took that ball. He was pushing his own blockers out of the way. He wanted that. He wanted to make a statement, try and fire his boys up, show a little effort in there, a little second effort, move the pile along. Nice job right there by John Campanelli trying to set the tone for the Tigers here. Still a whole half of football to play left. He knows that.
Campanelli serves as the backup quarterback should something happen to O'Byrne. So they split the receivers. 3 in the backfield. In motion goes Galveo. They'll keep it on the ground to Murray. And that doesn't fool anybody. Clock continues to run. 35 seconds and ticking. We'll see if Mamaroneck gets any plays off or if they just want to get out of here.
Teddy Renee stopped that play cold. Did Big Teddy, 6'1", 285. Teddy Renee, he brings it, number 72 in your program. He's one of the guys you're just glad he's on your side.
Well, the Tigers just looking to let that clock basically run out. They were in no hurry. This should be the last play. They'll go left side and see if they're knocked out of bounds. They are. 5 seconds to go. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Well, it's not one for the history books for the Tigers as far as halves go, but there's still a second half of football to play left. And if you're Mamaroneck, you say, let's just go from here.
So the official scoreboard was just off a little bit. And that is the end of the first half, mercifully, if you're from Mamaroneck. So the Indians of Nyack and their fans with plenty to cheer about. 35 points on the board. Some costly mistakes by the Tigers. The Indians capitalized and did their own thing on offense. And we'll take a little pause in the action for halftime. 35-0 team.
We're keeping it together. It's how we get along. Cablevision brings you a place we call our own. TV that's close to home.
Every pitch.
Strike three call.
Every swing.
There it goes.
Every catch.
He's there.
The game lives on ESPN and ESPN2. Sunday Night Baseball, the Wednesday doubleheader. Coverage that's going deep all season from the people who do it best. Major League Baseball on ESPN and ESPN2.
Every pitch, every swing, every catch. Don't miss Major League Baseball on ESPN and ESPN2. Watch it on Cablevision.
Slow down in work zones. It's not easy being orange.
Our daughter loves baseball, and we tried to get her on some teams, but she just never felt right about it. We thought she would just have to settle for being a fan, until Rotary stepped in, and they built this special field. When these kids get to play ball, they're so excited, and they just get to feel like regular kids. They took an idea of just letting the kids play baseball and made it fit these kids rather than trying to make the kids fit the field.
Rotary gives people an opportunity to help.
We are back at Nyack. It's dusk, and it's also a 35-point lopsided game right now in favor of the Indians. They'll kick off. Tigers will receive. Rob Astorino, Jim Cavallo. Game number 1 on our schedule here on Cablevision. There's the kick, and there's the first flag of this second half. We've seen a lot of those.
If you're Mamaroneck, Rob, you came into this game, you knew you were up against it, and when you're the underdog playing on the road, the bottom line is you have to be efficient with the football. You have to execute. Mamaroneck did not do that. You see our halftime stats. Look at the points on the right side for Nyack. 35 total yards. Oh boy, 202 to 53. The passing yards, that jumps out at you. Look at Mamaroneck, Rob.
And the turnovers too. That's a biggie. You cannot turn the ball over. Harry Peterson stressed that earlier. They just cannot give any breaks to Nyack, which coming in really didn't need any breaks to begin with.
And look at this, Nyack, 3 first downs, good for 35 points. Oh boy. But I mean, 0 passing yards, and when you have a primetime quarterback like Peter O'Byrne, threw for nearly 1,300 last year. John Castellano did a good job in putting pressure on O'Byrne and forced him into some situations he did not want to be in. And they have held the big QB to 0 passing yards. This is a guy who averages 160 yards passing a game in his junior year.
Campanelli on the return. And about 20 yards on the return to the 40. Still moving forward. Look at that. Excellent play by the special teams unit of Mamaroneck and Campanelli in particular. They just kept the feet moving, and they got an extra 5 out of it, so they'll start at the 45.
I got to find a way to keep John Campanelli on the field in some way. He's a backup quarterback, but every time he's touched the ball on these kickoffs, he's shown nothing but a superior effort. He is really going after it. Number 7 from Mamaroneck. Check him out. He is not going to let the first couple tacklers bring him down. Runs into the wall, but just keeps the feet grinding, just grinding and moving and just pushing the pile. Watch the piles behind the 40. Look where it ends up. It ends up at about the 44, so picks up that extra 5 on pure effort alone. Mr. Campanelli.
Smart play by the senior. He didn't hear the whistle, so he didn't stop. They'll go to the air. O'Byrne looking for someone, and he's going to have to eat it. He dropped the ball, too, and we've got another turnover. The third one of the ball game from Mamaroneck, and the Tigers start in the worst possible way in this second half. The Nyack Indians get another gift, and they'll start offensively at the 36-yard line.
Nyack getting another big play from another one of the big fellas, Jamar Watley. The 295-pound senior, number 76 in your program. He's the one that got to O'Byrne first, knocked the ball loose. And Nyack forcing another turnover. They'll take it. There's Watley, number 76. He's wreaked havoc on Harry Peterson's club. Along with the rest of the big dogs up front, Nyack takeovers in superior field position.
Clegg, they'll give it off to Pierre-Louis, and he'll gain a few yards. Just to recap the scoring in the first half, Nigel Morris with 3 touchdowns, a pass for 42 yards to start the game off, a 27-yard run and a 1-yard run. Pierre-Louis also with a 1-yard run and a 15-yarder, so that's all the scoring, 35-0.
On that first down play by Nyack, number 55, the senior Ed Cofino. And Eddie, big stick right there. So the defense of Mamaroneck got to come out and try and lay some lumber.
A little give and go there, and nice play by Samoilo. Samoilo inside the 20-yard line. A little trickery there by Nyack. And they get a lot. You know, it's sort of a precarious situation for Castellano and Nyack. You don't want to run up the score, but yet it is the first game. You want to show some things. You want to get your guys some action here, and you don't want to pull the first unit yet.
Little inside reverse, the sophomore Wilson to the junior Samoilo. And look at Samoilo. Petey cutting it upfield. Explodes down. Sneaky fast is Pete Samoilo, number 10, getting it done.
Clegg keeps it on the ground, hands it off. I believe Wilson gets the carry. He does. Todd Wilson, 5'11", 180. He's just a sophomore. So they've got someone to step in when Nigel Morris goes on to bigger and better things. I asked Morris, I said, you know, if you had one choice, and you'll have many, which school would you like to play at? And at first he wouldn't answer. Said, come on, what's your number one choice? Maryland.
The Terps.
Ralph Friedgen might get a goodie.
Took it on the chin.
Yeah, he did.
From Notre Dame and the boys. Tyrone Whittingham. But Nyack just keeps rolling the running back cut by committee system. Who's going to get the ball? Nobody knows.
Ball just over the 6-yard line. They'll go right side. Samoilo gets the call. He's inside the 5 to about the 3. So set up second down and goal.
So Pete Samoilo now getting some touches. And the junior powering through the hole. And Nyack, their running backs look good tonight by virtue of the fact that that offensive line is moving some people. And that's where it all starts, at the point of attack.
Sean McGee late to get in at one of the defensive halfbacks. Here's the pitch. Now let's see if Samoilo can sneak in there. No indication yet, and he's going to be just short of the goal line. This will be third down and about 1. And now a late flag comes in from the referee.
You watch Samoilo now. Little option pitch right there. Big cutback there by Peter to save himself about a 7-yard loss. Takes it down inside the 1-yard line. Looks like the penalty is going to go against Mamaroneck, so they'll go half the distance to the goal line. It'll move it up there even closer.
We'll get the call. Looks like some sort of dead ball foul, but we'll see. Well, they don't get much on that, maybe a step. 8:54 to play, third quarter. Rob Astorino, Jim Cavallo here, 35-0, and we're almost into the 40s here. See if it comes on this play.
Well, this is 46 country right here. Check it, 48, Pierre Louis. That's their man now.
And he gets it, and Louis is in. Touchdown, third time of the game for him. He and Morris with 3 each. It's 41-0 Nyack.
Well, I'll reverse the saying right here. It usually goes, if the thunder doesn't get you, then the lightning will. Well, in this case, if the lightning doesn't get you, then the thunder will. Juden Pierre-Louis, third touchdown on the evening for the physical junior. And look at Coach Castellano.
What's he barking at?
Think this guy's not into it? He knows this is game 1 of the season.
Nigel Morris for the PAT, high snap, but still perfect. 42-0 in favor of Nyack. So
that's what you get out of John Castellano, Rob, when you talk about this Nyack club. This is not a team coming in looking just to have a nice season and entertain the people. This is a team looking to come in and put another banner up in the gym. These guys are looking for a title. Don't forget they won it in 2000. And in that 2000 team, there were 6 of the players on the field tonight who were on that squad as sophomores. And last year, they were stung in the state sectional final to Greeley missing an extra point. So that had to leave a bad taste in their mouth. So you know Coach Castellano, they have their sights set. First win in the league, getting into the playoffs, taking care of the sectionals, and having a shot at another state crown. Now, you know Nyack in 2002, when they get in close, it's the Louis train. Juden Pierre-Louis off the right side. Excellent blocking once again. And once he gets the feet going, that's going to be trouble. Third touchdown on the afternoon.
Coach Castellano, 20 minutes, 43 seconds away from career win number 109. Is that being presumptuous of me, or you think they're going to pull this out?
You talk about that 2000 state title team. Nigel, Leon, Rene, Nargi, Dela Cruz, Clay, all on that squad, all on the field too.
Sean McGee watches it bounce, finally picks it up, and when he does, he probably wishes he didn't. Boy, did they converge on him. Some gang tackling right there. One of the first guys in was Charles Becker, so Mamaroneck has their work cut out for them, to put it very bluntly and very succinctly. They'll get the ball here at their 17-yard line. A lot of mistakes by Mamaroneck today. Mistakes they could not afford to make. And guess who cashed in every time? Nyack. Harry Peterson, we've mentioned, is back after a couple years of being up at Somers to watch his son and coach his son.
And this is a get-to-know process for Harry. Don't forget, if you're gone 2 years, well, all the kids, all the seniors on this team were freshmen when he left. So Harry Peterson, after the short preseason, just getting to know this ball club.
Here's Murray. He'll get to about the 22-yard line.
And there it is in a nutshell, Rob. Maurice Murray unable to break through and get into the secondary. We said before the game, Maurice Murray is an electrical player in the secondary. But against Nyack, Nyack is just stacking everybody up front, that big defensive line. Maurice Murray has not been able to get to the secondary.
Peterson, best season, 1999, where they beat Port Chester in the bowl. Finished at 7-3. He's been to 5 bowl games. He said he couldn't sleep the last couple nights, all ready to go for this. Murray powers forward, close to the sticks. He's going to come up just a little short. It'll bring up third down.
Good stick by Greg Dubison. Coming up, catching a good piece. Now third down and short. And you can see they're trying to get Murray going here. Maurice Murray, as you look, Nyack's Bradley Gallen, the junior, calling the signals for the defense.
It's at the point from Mamaroneck where you're not going to win the game, and since you didn't have much of a preseason, you might as well do some things you want to do and see what happens, and just Just like this, here's Murray, and he just bangs forward, and there's a little love tap to Nigel Morris, who taps him back, and that's what Murray can do.
Well, Murray's got to be saying, finally, a little breathing room along the right side. And you saw what Murray can do when he finds the seam. He turns it upfield in a hurry. Check it out again. Good job by the right side of this offensive line. As Murray finds the hole and just explodes downfield, picks up a quick 20-something there.
Great angle blocking by the line. That's what you got to do to get away from that disadvantage with the weight. And they get into territory, and just as they do, here come with the flags.
I think it's going to be a face mask on Nyack, so that'll push the ball downfield a little more from Mamaroneck, but
we have a face mask, incidental, end of the run, 5 yards.
Not a personal foul, but an incidental. But you can see, Rob, what they're doing here. They're trying to get Maurice Murray off in a hurry, and they're trying to get him going and build his confidence as they leave Nyack and continue their season. A little delayed draw. Look at Murray. What a reaction. Quickly changes direction when he doesn't see any room to the left side. Goes back to the right side.
Yeah.
There's the face mask.
And he puts his helmet down, leads with it, so gets that extra few yards. They're at the 45. First serious run for Mamaroneck all game. They'll stick with what's been working, and they get some room outside. Murray has the first down and a little bit more, close to the 30. Maurice Murray adding some numbers to the stats as we play this second half.
You got to give the credit to Mamaroneck and the offensive line. They're doing the job at the point of attack on this drive because Maurice Murray off the right side, he finds some room, follows his blockers beautifully. And there's number 5, Nigel Morris, the last line of defense at the free safety position for Nyack. Not going to get by him.
McGee in motion. O'Byrne throws it against the grain as he was running left, and that one is caught. I believe it was caught by 26 David Spielman, and so they move the chains again. Another first down for the Tigers. Good drive here after the problems earlier on their first drive, which resulted in a turnover and another touchdown. They're down 42, but they're making it look good here. Actually doing some positive stuff.
O'Byrne's first completion of the game, I believe, rolling left. And finally, after 30 minutes of football, O'Byrne able to connect. First down from Mamaroneck at the 23.
Again, McGee in motion to the left, and they'll give it to Murray. And Murray gets into the secondary area, so some more good yards from Murray, taken down that time by, I believe, 55, and that's Dubison, I should say.
And Rob, what we're seeing here is we're seeing a Mamaroneck team that looks a little annoyed.
Yeah.
Right now, this team is in attack mode, and this is what Harry Peterson is going to tell these guys. This is the tempo we have to play at right from the word go, first quarter, because they seem to have that little extra juice in their step right now. You see Maurice Murray is exploding off the line of scrimmage. He looks more into it now.
Same alignment, same sort of play. This time, though, they'll give it off to Pineros. Pineros heads for the sideline and close to the end zone. And let's see the indication. Yes, it's a touchdown. Great run. And the Tigers get on the board.
A junior halfback. And off the good play action, handoff inside, follow his blockers. And for Harry Peterson, it's got to feel good. Pineros just did an outstanding job letting the play to develop in front of him and just exploded to the pylon.
17-yard run for Pineros, breaks the mold with 4:50 to go in the third. They'll set up for one. McGee will stay in to kick. And as we mentioned, really hasn't come into play, although some of the kicks have been short and the punts have been short. McGee in for Adam Goldberg, who's out with a pulled hip flexor. And that kick is very deep and very good. 4:50 to play in the third quarter, 42-7 now. Mamaroneck gets on the board.
Check it out again. Watch Pineros now. It's a good looking play. Fake handoff inside. Goes to the outside backer. Look at him following his blockers downfield and then just turns the corner and just explodes to the pylon and finds it. Oh, yeah, you got to like the effort right there out of the junior halfback, Mark Paneros, and getting some well-deserved high fives along the sideline. But good for Mamaroneck to get on the board here, feel a little better about themselves.
Outruns Greg Dubisson into the end zone. Cablevision Sports goes into Westchester. Next game, Yorktown and Fox Lane. A lot of good games coming up this year. Well, Tigers with a little bounce in their step as they come onto the field, ready to kick it off. Morris, Wilson, deep to receive. Great crowd still here. Nobody really has left.
It's one of the great little nuances of the village of Nyack and Nyack High School, the night football games. Good kick here.
Yep. Goes over the head of Wilson. He has to retrieve it. Wilson with a lot of room now up the sideline. He gets a key block, and Wilson breaks some tackles, takes it over midfield, and into Tiger territory. Great special teams work by the Nyack Indians.
Well, there was a crushing block down the right side by number 55, Greg Dubisson. See if you can pick up number 55 along the right side. The block has already happened, but look at Wilson. This is a sophomore, ladies and gentlemen, just a 10th grader. Look at him out there on the varsity making things happen, cutting it up, taking the kickoff across midfield.
And a very smart play on that return with the sidelines to his left. He switched the ball from his right hand to his left hand to protect it. That's a smart play by the sophomore. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Indians back on offense. They stay with their starters still. Clegg, again, same play as we saw before. It works. Samoilo has the first down and more down the right sideline inside the 30-yard line.
You can see what the Nyack Indians coaching staff likes about the junior Pete Samoilo. This guy has got quickness and then some. He turns the corner. Pete picks up 15 yards in the blink of an eye. Watch the play develop. Little inside reverse to Samoilo. Watch when Samoilo makes the move to the outside. Here's the speed right here. Zip right along. Just chewing up yardage down that right side. Picks up about 20 on the play.
Sean McGee takes him down. Pierre-Louis, short yardage on first down. I wonder at what point Castellano actually pulls his starters. Not that he's running up the score, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I wonder at what point he gives the second string, maybe the whole fourth quarter, or maybe, like I said before, it's just a case of, you know what, it's early in the season, I got to see what they got.
I mean, it's so early, and we mentioned the short preseason, the lack of scrimmage games, so this is as good of a podium as a forum for these guys to work on their offense as they're going to get. He's not going to pull any gimmick plays here, but he's going to run his offense.
Clegg, they send Samoilo in motion. And this one will go up to the 20-yard line. We'll see who carried the ball. Can't see who had it. It might have been Ricky Cherry, a sophomore.
And to an extent, Rob, you are seeing some of the second string
Yes,
guys.
you are.
You're not seeing Nigel Morris. You're seeing a lot more Pete Samoilo. Now, Samoilo's a guy who's going to get touches along the way, but right now he's more of the feature back in there. You also got Shannon Brissett in there.
The counter goes to the right side, and they get close to the marker. They had to take it to about the 16. They'll be a little short. They'll mark it at around the 17. Samoilo on the carry. It'll bring up fourth and short. Here's that offensive line again, and a lot of pounds on that front five.
Well, it all starts here for Nyack when you talk about the boys up front for the Nyack Indians. And you see them guys break out of the huddle. 3 seniors, 2 juniors, average weight 242 pounds.
Jamar Watley, number 76, is as big as he looks, folks. I know they say the camera puts on her 10, 15 pounds, but he's at 290.
When you have some of the skill position players, you combine that with an offensive line that's, I mean, you cannot only be big and get it done. You have to be good too. And these guys are quick with their feet. They work hard in the off season. 12 months a year, they're lifting and running and working on their speed and quickness. The Nyack offensive line is ready to go.
P.J. Holmesy, the linebacker, with the last stop, and a little giddy up there by Shannon Brissett. He's going to take it for a first down or close to it. It's going to be at around the 2 or 3 yard line. Second down and very short.
Good job by Shannon. Instead of taking it wide, cuts it up inside, picks up good yardage. About 9 on the play, be second down and less than 1.
So everyone getting their touches now in the offense.
And you're talking about halfway through the third quarter is when the Nyack first teamers came out of the game. So John Castellano, not only from a standpoint of running up the score, but last thing you need is Nigel Morris to get banged up in the first game of the year. This guy's got to carry the load the whole year.
That short. $1:38 in the third quarter. Fans still into this game.
Yeah, John Castellano, you see his primetime assistant there. He's got a great staff here. And when you talk about Nyack, it really starts with their coaching staff. That was big Jose St. Victor. Get a shot of Jose in a second.
3 in the backfield behind Clegg. So he's got his choice. He'll give it off. And the run by Samoilo is good for a touchdown. 48-7. Samoilo with the short run.
Just keeps on coming for the Nyack Indians. As the sidelines are a happy place to be on a Thursday night off Midland Ave in Nyack, New York.
Where's the place to party in Nyack?
Job well done. Well, the town of Nyack is one big party, Rob. Many places, waterfront community, outstanding.
Nigel Morris splits the upright.
Graduate who really is into it, a former NFL player who played for Paul Lanco back here in the old days at Nyack High School. And that's the mark of many of the great coaching staffs around here. You look at Joe Casarella, North Rockland, and Pete Warner's been with him all those years, and they just keep turning out the victories.
Off the kickoff, Campanelli. And stopped dead in his tracks at the 30-yard line. In on the play defensively for Nyack was, well, somebody not in the, oh, I see it, yes, Ricky Evans. Thought it was 26. My eyes are playing some funny tricks on me. I'm not horsing around. That was a bad one. Yorktown at Fox Lane. You always get a big reaction in the truck when you make a stinker.
That was a stinker, Rob.
Not the horses. No stinkers there. Huskers and Foxes.
Yeah, the Foxes, after a 4-5 year last year in Yorktown, trying to keep it going. 6-3 last year for Ron Santavica's club in his 19th year.
O'Byrne forced to eat the pigskin. That'll go down as a sack. Ted Renee there, Jamar Watley also, so negative yards for the Tigers. 2nd down and 12 coming up, and O'Byrne just goes to the sideline and says, Coach, what can I do?
It's tough. It's been a tough night here for O'Byrne. He's going to have better days than this. Defense wasn't there, and there's the big fella swallowing him up, Jamar Watley. That looks like just a troublesome situation for any offensive lineman right there. Jamar Watley.
And quarterbacks. Here's Murray. Murray wrapped up after some small yardage there. Number 72 right there was Ted Renee. He's 285 as well.
Teddy Renee, a nice solid 285 now. Of course, Teddy part of the Journal News preview for high school football. Teddy says maybe at a freshman year I was a little chunky. I was still 285. Now he's a senior and he's a rock solid 285. And look at the fleet of foot Teddy Renee right there, pursuing from the rear, the backside tackle. Not too easy for a big fella. So Teddy in good shape, looking good. He's got to be happy tonight.
Third quarter comes to an end. The Indians putting their hands up like the game's over unless somebody surrendered. So we're down to 1 quarter of play left to go. 49-7 in favor of the Nyack Indians.
The dish was on the back part of the roof.
Every time the wind blew, the picture went out. The branches blew right into the signal. We called the dish guy, and he told us that we needed some trees and branches pruned back, and it was going to cost us $400. We started pruning tree branches.
You have to cut down a tree to watch TV.
There it is, my tree of shame. And to make a long story short, it still doesn't work. I called up and I got my cable. I'm done with the dish.
Hey, shouldn't you have one half?
Nah. Skin cancer is the most common of all cancers.
Can I get in the pool?
Sure. Just one blistering sunburn before age 18 increases cancer chances. So protect yourself from sun exposure, cover up, or use sunscreen. Raise awareness, a sun safety program from the Weather Channel.
Protect yourself from sun exposure with Raise Awareness, a sun safety program from the Weather Channel. Watch the Weather Channel on Cablevision.
Now it's going to be 4th and long. No success there. The punting unit will come in. Just underway. 11:47 and counting. All good things come to an end, and so do all bad things, depending on which side of the field you're on. Rob Astorino, Jim Cavallo here at Nyack. Town, the village, and the county rock.
Yeah, McCalman Field.
Off the punt, Samoilo spins his way to about the 47. Good hard hitting by the special teams. Daniel Carrier, a junior, makes the stop.
Long-standing tradition here at Nyack football on night football, McCalman Field, going all the way back to the days I mentioned Jose St. Victor playing for Paul Lankow. Then Coach Al Can took over, the great Al Can, followed by Bob Arvard, then Bob Keenan, and then 15 years ago, John Castellano took over. And since John Castellano took over, there have been many great days here. 3 section titles, a state championship, a couple sectional runner-ups. They have been in the mix year in and year out under Coach Castellano.
A lot of new faces, clean uniforms in for Nyack. Shannon Brissett takes the carry and finds a seam inside the 40 to about the 37. Alex Ginty also in the game. Ricky Cherry there. They're sticking with Eric Clegg right now at quarterback.
I like what I see out of Shannon Brissett. Brissett exploding off the ball. Tough to be a tailback when you have Nigel Morris in the mix. But now Morris getting a little rest, and Shannon showing he can get it done. Always got to remember, as a backup, you're one injury from being in there in any game in any season. And Shannon will get plenty touches on this team. They'll put some games away in a hurry.
Brissett again with the carry. Brissett takes it inside the 30-yard line or close to it.
And a nice tackle from the rear by George Mederditch. George is the man, number 30 from Mamaroneck. We didn't have his number earlier, but sorry there, George. We got you now. So George chasing down Shannon from behind.
He spells his name M-G-R-D-I-T-C-H-I-A-N. He's got to see Vanna White. He needs that vowel between the M and the G. That messes us up. Mederditch doing a good job out there. The call will go to, I believe, it's Samoilo. And Samoilo does get the call. Not much. Lost yards there, about 3 or 4 negative. And the officials stop the clock for a second. And now they restart it. Happy faces here in Nyack. Why shouldn't there be? 49-7 is the lead for the homestanding Indians.
Well, when you talk about this club here, we mentioned the 6 seniors on this field who played tonight, who were on that 2000 state championship team. Last year, they lost in the section final, so they're gunning for glory in their senior year.
Samoilo again to the 29-yard line, gets back some of those yards. Stop made that time by number 65, John Lanza, the defensive tackle.
Taking a look at this last play. Like with the inside handoff. And Pistol Pete spinning his way down. Trying to pick up yardage, but it's 3rd and long for Nyack.
Eric Clegg, 5'11", 170. Puts Brissett in motion. Brissett gets the ball, and he is met in the backfield by Ed Cofino. And this will give the ball back. If they can stop him here, it's 4th down.
Look at Eddie Cofino, man. That's a solid-looking young man right there. You can tell he's been doing work, pushing the irons around. He really filled that time from his linebacker spot, came up and stopped the play cold. Eddie Cofino is going to be laying a lot of big hits this year for the Mamaroneck Tigers as one of the real key components of this defense. Actually, down there as a defensive tackle, I should say.
4th and 10 from the 31. Clegg, the lefty, looking for someone open. Now he's going to have to make do and scramble. It is caught by Samoilo along the sidelines. 1st down and more inside the 10-yard line. Stop made on the far side of the field by John Campanelli. We've been calling his name. You've got to give a star of the game from Mamaroneck. Campanelli gets it. Saves a touchdown.
Boy, it's so impressive, some of the athleticism of the Nyack players. And Samoilo right here, a receiver. But the important part is the adjustment he makes on the ball. When the QB lets this one fly, watch Samoilo. Good job of outrunning the pursuit here. Samoilo cuts it back inside, catches it on the run. Quick, another cut back. Picks up a 1st down, a nice looking play. Pete Samoilo is having a nice second half.
Mederditch almost with the sack. They'll push it forward, and Brissett gets the touchdown. 5 yards on the carry, good for the TD, and we're in the 50s.
Yeah, the Nyack cheerleaders had plenty to cheer about tonight, girls. They did a great job entertaining the crowd. And Shannon coming in the second half and making his visit worthwhile, running hard all the time, and now takes it into the house, puts a 6 up on the board, got his 1st touchdown of the season.
Nigel Morris comes back on the field momentarily to kick it off, Clegg will hold. And he booms it through.
Just shoots a laser through there to Nigel Morris.
56-7 is the score with 7:14 to go.
Take another look at Shannon doing his thing. Bounce off the left side, dives into the end zone. No better feeling for a running back to look up and see the guy in a striped shirt putting his hands up to the sky.
The Nyack Indians, and they will keep the name Indians. That nickname has come under some heavy criticism by some groups across the country. The state of California actually has ordered that every school within the state must change their name. Now in New York State, the Department of Education has asked schools with that nickname to consider changing it. Mayapack has not. John Jay is considering it. Ossining has changed it. And Nyack has said that they will look into the issue, but at this point they have not decided to, and they plan on keeping it unless some other reason comes about. But they have taken off the Indians, the word Indians, from everything, but they're keeping the logo, and they have not received any complaints either.
They've removed a lot of the Indian headdresses that the Indianettes used to wear and all that kind of stuff.
McGee on the return, trying to break through, and he meets up with Ricky Cherry as he gets to about the 35-yard line. It's an interesting situation. And a lot of Native Indian groups, Native American groups themselves have not really come out against the use of Redskins and Indians, but there are some vocal groups out there that do want to see it changed.
You know what? It's a tough call. But you know what? The bottom line from my standpoint as a guy who grew up in this area, when people think of the Nyack Indians, nobody thinks of any Native Americans. People think of Nyack High School. And that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. The Nyack Indians are Nyack High School.
Well, professional teams like the Indians and Chiefs and the Seminoles and Florida State, they're saying, you know, we're not disrespecting anybody. This is, you know, a pride thing, in fact. And as I said, many Native American organizations and groups do see it that way.
It's true. I mean, it's maybe the radical Native Americans who want to put a self-imposed, you know, hurt feelings title over it. But I don't know. Like I said, when people think of the Nyack Indians, nobody's thinking of Native Americans. They're thinking of Nyack High School.
2nd down and 5. Campanelli split left. In motion goes Galveo. And they'll run, and here's Maurice Murray. What a good job. He gets into territory of Nyack and at the 45-yard line.
Well, Todd Wilson, the sophomore for Nyack, has done a few things to put himself up on the ledger tonight. He just did another one. He saved a touchdown. Maurice Murray was that close from breaking a big one, but Maurice has had a good second half. We've seen more of the Maurice Murray we thought we'd see in the second half, breaking tackles at the point of attack, running through arm tackles, and finding the secondary.
They'll go back to Murray again, and Murray makes the whole Nyack team take him down, but not after he gains 7. And you got to feel that if they're going to break one for long, it's going to be now with the second unit for Nyack, and Murray might be able to put a good deep move on and get all the way in.
Yeah, you see the time winding down. And the score, this one was over by the half. Well, give Mamaroneck credit. They're still playing hard. Maurice Murray still got the legs churning. Everybody's still firing out of the offensive line, and that's just what Coach Harry Peterson wants to see in this kind of game. Let's just still run our offense and execute.
And Murray again stays on his feet. And Murray taken down by a host of Indians, but they get the first down. They'll take it to the 27-yard line, so they'll move the chains again, and at least they're going in the right direction. They had so many problems in the first half where they'd make a move and then all of a sudden they'd give up the ball, and they started off on the wrong foot. 21 points in the first quarter, and they never were able to come back from that.
So Murray starts out right, bounces it to the left side. Keeps the legs going. Energy, energy, energy you want from your running backs. Got to have a good motor to be a running back.
Peter O'Byrne, little play action, and he's going to be sacked in the backfield. O'Byrne with nowhere to go. You can credit that one to Ricky Evans. Evans with a nice sack, and they'll lose a good chunk of yards, almost 8 on the sack.
Well, It was Evans and Becker. It's not the name of a law firm. It was the name of the Nyack Crunch right there. Ricky Evans put the first hit on him. And then Charles Becker, the junior, came to finish him off for Coach Castellano.
Dewey beat him, and how? That's the long firm that Nyack is using, I think.
They're off on the right foot, that's for sure.
O'Byrne doesn't like what he sees, so he'll call a TO with 4:03 to play in this ball game.
Robbie, talk about some of the great years for Nyack High School under John Castellano as Coach Cass makes his way out to the field to talk to his unit. He talked. Maybe we can listen in to Coach Castellano.
Talk, you stay in one. Hey, you get the drift there now? Right, you're keeping all these all-section boys in against you because he wants to score, okay? Here's what you do. You play good, solid defense. Good, solid defense. There's a good stunt off the corner, all right? We're gonna go angle, tough. Angle, tough. Come on, who's this left linebacker? Right linebacker. Shoot up.
His audio is
come through that B gap right now.
Coming in and
okay?
out.
And you gotta make
He's got nothing to worry.
Talk about, I was mentioning a moment ago, some of the glory years. 1989, the 10-0 team for Nyack. They beat Ossining 23-22 on the field goal by Alex Avila. That was Jermaine Harris's team. Jermaine Harris, at the time, was the all-time Section 1 career leader. Of course, Sammy Maldonado has took over since then. Then 1995 for John Castellano, 10-1. They beat Greeley in the Section 1 final, 42-21. Players like Michael Beeman and Weston Wells. They lost the state semifinal to Amsterdam, the eventual state champion. And then, after this play, I'll tell you about the biggest one of them all.
O'Byrne with Galveo in motion. Murray again. And Maurice Murray has it stripped from him. I thought, you know, he fooled me because O'Byrne kept it.
And really, for Coach Castellano and the Nyack program, the signature year was the year 2000. A 12-0 championship season. They beat Brewster in the Section 1 final, 18-15. And in that Section 1 final, a young sophomore by the name of Nigel Morris caught 3 touchdown passes. 3 touchdown passes as a sophomore for Nigel Morris in the Section 1 final against Brewster.
3rd and 10. O'Byrne has Galveo in motion again. This time I know Maurice Murray has it. I watched it. And he gets tripped up at the 20.
And Rob, just to finish my trip down memory lane for the Nyack Indians in that year 2000, at this point the state championships were in place, and in the state final, Nyack went upstate to Syracuse and beat Fulton 34-20. We're talking about Nigel Morris in that year. 3 touchdowns in the sectional final. In that state final against Fulton, this was a 1-point game into the 4th quarter. 28-20 the score was. Nigel Morris, a 37-yard interception for a touchdown in the 4th quarter with 4 minutes to go to put the state final away. Nigel Morris.
Maurice Murray gets it, and he gets hammered at the 15-yard line, but not after he gets a first down. On the stop was Todd Wilson again. So we'll see if they can score with 2:25 and counting. 56-7.
Of course, I'd be remiss too if I'm talking about that 2000 team without mentioning the QB, Ronnie King. Ronnie King, the New York State Player of the Year.
Boy, he was good.
And Mr. Clegg was out there tonight. Clay was a backup to him at that point, but Ronnie King ran the show for the Indians.
Murray trying to sniff the end zone. Let's see. It is close, and he is just short. Inside the 1. The Tigers trying to put some more points on to get into double digits here. Now here's how they got past Poughkeepsie, and Pierre-Louis did that job.
That was the last game on Cablevision Sports right here in Nyack. And Nyack taking on Poughkeepsie late in the game. Coach Castellano would celebrate. And we'll try and get that for you in a moment.
It happened so fast. Here we go. Let's see if they can get in. I think they did. No indication yet. Murray trying to get that half a yard, and now they give it to him. So Maurice Murray puts it into the end zone for the first time today with 1:22 to go in this fourth quarter. It's 56-13.
Well, it's been a long night for Maurice Murray. A frustrating first half. Saw his ball club fall from behind. They'll take little solace in scoring that touchdowns. There'll be many more touchdowns for Maurice Murray and the Mamaroneck Tigers in the season of 2002.
Extra point is up and in. 56-13. 14, I'm sorry. Well, you think Mamaroneck has issues. We've got them too. Get to know both sides of the issue on We've Got Issues. Terrence Mikas is your host to a challenging look behind the headlines. Weekdays at 7:30 at night and weekends at 6:30 at night. Only on Cablevision. Local programming, TV that's close to home. Let's see this again.
Well, here's Maurice Murray. Simple inside handoff. Good fake by Peter inside. Maurice Murray pounds it in. Breaks the plane of the goal line. Is in there for the touchdown.
So Nyack off to a very fast start. Nyack in a difficult league to say some. Some say not too bad. Ossining, Scarsdale, Spring Valley, Tappan Zee, and Yonkers. They are obviously the class of that league. A East, where Mamaroneck plays, is much tougher with Fox Lane, Greeley, Hen Hud, Port Chester, and Yorktown.
Yeah, the schedule makers doing no favors to Mamaroneck. That is a tough schedule in Nyack. After an 8-1 season a year ago, not the rough and tumble tough kind of schedule you might see, but they'll take it, and they'll take on all comers.
Again, the kickoff out of bounds, so a penalty, and they'll start at the 35. Just a few more plays, and this thing will be in the books. 1:22 to go. Assuming the clock does not stop, just a few more plays.
So for Mamaroneck, they'll have a little over a week now to prepare for game number 2 on their schedule. And Nyack will have that same allotment. Next on Nyack's schedule is at Spring Valley, September 14th. They go from one Tiger to the next.
Danny DePacey in at quarterback now for the last few plays.
See Nyack's schedule this year. At Spring Valley, at Yonkers, then Ossining will be here, and Nyack, Tappan Zee at home. Over to Peekskill, and then they'll finish it up, taking on Scarsdale. So some couple games that jump out there to you, and a couple games they should easily get by. From Mamaroneck, tough schedule. Port Chester, Fox Lane, Yorktown.
They'll stay on the ground, obviously. And we'll see if they even need to run one more play off.
Taking a look at that Mamaroneck schedule once again. Hen Hud, Greeley, and down at the bottom, finish it off on the 18th for us. So the Mamaroneck Tigers, that'll be what they point towards.
Nyack will play Ossining in a few weeks. We mentioned before, the Indians of Ossining, or they were the Indians, have not revealed what their new nickname will be yet. But that is traditionally the new rivalry here. Ossining and Nyack, they've had some very classic ball games.
Ossining out off a 5-4 year with a new coach. Should be interesting. But the clock has run out on week number 1 here at Nyack High School.
Well, that is it. 56-14, as lopsided as the scoreboard indicates. Jim and I will come back here at Nyack. We'll wrap things up. We'll also talk to Coach Castellano and our star of the ball game, so don't go anywhere. We've got more to go in our post-game show right here on Cablevision's High School Football Game of the Week.
What do we got on Morris?
He killed my father, he killed my brother, and both my sisters. Pancreatic cancer killed them all. We don't know how or why they got it, but we knew it, and it was already too late. There still isn't any way to detect it early or to treat it effectively. But we do know the cure, research. Just look how far we've come with other diseases.
If it runs, burns, spins, or turns, we're there from start to finish. ESPN brings the best racing action from across the country. ESPN, your race day fix.
If it runs, burns, spins, or turns, ESPN is there, bringing you the best racing action from across the country. ESPN, your race day fix. Watch ESPN on Cablevision.
Well, sometimes they say the final score was closer than it appeared. Not tonight. 56-14, Nyack all over Mamaroneck. Welcome to the post-game show. I'm Rob Astorino with Coach Castellano. Nice start.
It was a great start for us, Robert. We were hitting on all cylinders. I was happy with our offensive production. I thought defensively we stepped up and played very well tonight.
How are you looking next week?
Well, you know, we got to get ourselves ready, and we take it one step at a time. Spring Valley's a good football team. It's a little bit of a rivalry in the county, so we just got to get ourselves ready.
Were you able to see everything you wanted to see?
We had some other things in offensively we didn't get a chance to get to, so I guess that's pretty good. We can hide those things a little bit. But, you know, we've got to play some kids tonight. Some kids got experience, so that was important for us.
One guy you were able to see, Nigel Morris. he's with Jimmy C right now. Jimmy?
All right, Rob, what a night for Nigel Morris. The Nigel Morris show starts in fine fashion. 3 touchdowns, some electrifying plays up and down the field. And Nigel, as a sophomore, you guys won the whole enchilada, state champs. As juniors, you guys were disappointed in the state sectional final. So as a senior, I'm sure you guys got together and said, let's set the tone in game 1. You certainly did that tonight.
Yeah, we wanted to start the season off great. Coming off that loss, 7-6 to Greeley.
You got to feel like you're an unstoppable player, running the football like we see now, or catching it through the air, or even playing defense. You feel good out there.
Yeah, offensively, I think my offensive line brings me where I am.
Scored a touchdown on the ground tonight. You offer so many dimensions to this team, whether you're playing free safety, interception tonight, or whether you're in there at quarterback. But you just want to be a contributor, I'm sure.
Yeah, I do.
All right, so you and your boys can go celebrate now. Nigel Morris, congratulations, an outstanding night. And Robbie, when you talk about it, Nyack came into the season with expectations, as they did a year ago. 6 of these seniors were on that club as sophomores in 2000, so they came in with a little pressure. I think they responded.
They showed their experience. Pierre-Louis also with 3 touchdowns tonight, so a great start for the Nyack Indians. And you look at the stats, and it really was as lopsided as it appeared to be. Some bad mistakes by Mamaroneck as well. And here are the final numbers. You know, look at those turnovers, actually 3. First down's not a factor at all, really, because they just had those big runs and big breaks. But total yards, 302. Mamaroneck, 248, but a lot of that at the end, and Maurice Murray did some of that damage.
Yeah, Nyack capitalized on the turnovers early. As you said, Mamaroneck running up a lot of those yards late. But Nyack did what they wanted to do. They got their big gun, Nigel Morris, going. They were efficient. The horses up front, offensive, defensive line, clearly set the tone for this ball team throughout the course of the night, and they go from here, 1-0.
56-14, final score, all Nyack tonight. That's it from Nyack here for Cablevision Sports. I'm Rob Astorino for Jimmy C. We'll see you next time, folks. It's Yorktown and Fox Lane.